is a huge threat to the not only peace and stability, but the security of the South Caucasus and the entire region overall. After 4 years of negotiations within the Prague process, the co-chairs, finalizing the ideas and thoughts which was discussed, presented in written in December of 2007 in Madrid during the OSCE Ministerial. They presented in written the proposals which goes as a basic principles for the settlement of Armenian-Azerbaijan Nagorno-Karabakh conflict. It was presented on the level of foreign ministers of 3 countries, of United States, Russia, and France. And then after that, we pick up these written proposals and start working almost not like in virtual manner and exchanging of the views and ideas how it should be done, but start working on the paper on which we believe that we need to proceed for more understanding and bringing Armenia and Azerbaijan closer to each other and keep this conflict in the past. On this level, after the December 2007, there was much more intensive meetings of presidents of Azerbaijan and Armenia, and 2 years of very, very intensive negotiations, including the meetings of 9 meetings of the presidents of Armenia and Azerbaijan. Some of them was done together with the co-chair member states. Some of them was done particular by the initiative of Russian President Medvedev, doing in the format not like 3+2 co-chairs plus Armenia and Azerbaijan, but 2+1, Armenia, Azerbaijan plus Russian Federation. And at the end of these negotiations and talks, in December 2009, the co-chairs again on the level of foreign ministers in Athens, again on the margin of the OSCE Ministerial, presented a new version of Madrid proposals, which goes updated, new, or it's not a new, generally it's updated Madrid proposals, so-called. That's why we do not using the Athens document, we're still using the Madrid. What we're calling is that as a renewed or the updated Madrid document, do not create the confusion that we are changing anything in our positions. And after very careful, I can use even so, investigation of the language of the updated Madrid document, Azerbaijani side recognized that in general, in principle, co-chairs made a good job recognizing everything what they heard, particular on the meeting of 2 presidents, and that was carefully articulated and drafted and put it in written as a proposal to both sides, to the leadership of Armenia and Azerbaijan. And then something awkward started. So we announced and make a statement that we agreed that this document is generally addressing everything what was talked almost for the 6 years. And we are ready using this written proposals for starting and opening the negotiations for the comprehensive peace agreement, because it's again used as a principles, but then we need to work for the comprehensive peace agreement. And comprehensive peace agreement means much more broader sense of negotiations, not only on the level of foreign ministers, but inviting also different other experts who should be in charge and negotiating the different aspects for the to be enshrined into in this big document. Generally speaking, the proposals which was done by co-chairs are well known, because the basic of them was also delivered by presidents of the co-chair countries, first in Italy, in L'Aquila, and then in Toronto, in Muskoka, on the margin of the G8 summit. Its first paragraph, of course, the withdrawal of Armenian troops from all occupied territories on the timely basis, because the timetable should be done. Then it comes, of course, return of all refugees and IDPs, opening of all communications, recognizing that with the opening of all communications, it should be contacts in between the Armenia and Karabakh, because all the roads, and including the railroads and the car roads, should be open for the free traffic. Security guarantees should be addressed through the international peacekeepers. The decision was made even in Budapest during the Budapest OSCE summit in 1994. And in this regard, the OSCE peacekeeping should address the security concerns. Generally speaking, we recognize that this can open it can be a serious breakthrough for bringing at least predictability for the development of the region, if it will move through all the aspects which I mentioned. Unfortunately, very unfortunately, so far we still do not have. That's why I'm saying awkward position, or awkward situation. We still do not have yes, and we still do not have no from the Armenian side. It's sometimes using very equilibristic vocabulary, trying to avoid the acceptance of the plan, which is proposed, again, as I said, not by Azerbaijan, but it's proposed by 3 co-chair states, and which is generally accepted by Azerbaijan. And therefore, we're still trying to understand what is the point which make of concern for the Armenians. If they're talking about, for example, status, it's also status of NK, it's also important to indicate that for Azerbaijan is also very important. It's so-called gray zone on the territory of Azerbaijan, and for us, the status of NK, to define the status of NK is one of the most important elements, because we also very much interest from the legal point of view to spread our sovereignty to all the zones, not only beyond Nagorno-Karabakh, but on Nagorno-Karabakh as well. They talk about the self-determination, for example, which is the principle of international law, and we in Azerbaijan accepting this principle as we signed up for the Helsinki Final Act, which is one of the principles of which is enshrined in the Helsinki Final Act. And we believe that self-determination, as it is indicated in the Helsinki Final Act, absolutely do not mean the violation of territorial integrity of state. Self-determination of any nation is a very important element of international law, and it should be accepted, but it doesn't mean that it should be voluntarily interpreted that it means the changing of the territorial integrity of any state. Besides that, as I mentioned before that, if you want to self-determine any part, as it was done, for example, with our immediate neighbor in Russia, with federation like Tatarstan, Bashkortostan, it should be done by the whole population who inhabited of this territory. And speaking about the self-determination of Nagorno-Karabakh, the Armenian side missing the very important element that it's only Armenian community who now living in Nagorno-Karabakh. For the self-determination of Nagorno-Karabakh, it's extremely important, and it's one of the most important elements that the Azerbaijan community must return back to Nagorno-Karabakh together in dignity, according to all the democratic norms and principles, as we signed up as a member states of the United Nations, Council of Europe, OSCE, and other different international organizations, in dignity and in democratic way to define its status. Of course, we in Azerbaijan not only believe, but we know that that kind of bicommunal approach, it's extremely important from the point of view of the definition of the status, will be done within the territorial integrity of Azerbaijan with the highest level of autonomy. We have international experience in this regard, and there is a lot of different examples for how different entities inside of the states can gain and can address the autonomy, high level autonomy within the state, within the state itself. So in this regard, so far, negotiations is still going on, not so intensive as it was done through the last 6 years, which I believe that it's very unfortunate. I think that we need to continue to educate